Imagine this. You've just landed after a long international flight. You stretch, gather your things, and start moving with the crowd toward passport control. The signs all point in one direction, customs and immigration. And suddenly, you feel that little flutter in your stomach. Not because you did anything wrong, but because this is the one part of travel where the rules feel invisible, the stakes feel high, and every traveler has the same thought in the back of their mind. Please don't let me say the wrong thing. Customs and immigration officers don't look for guilty travelers. They look for nervous ones. They look for uncertainty. They look for hesitation. And here's the part most travelers never hear. You can be 100% innocent, follow every rule, and still end up in secondary screening simply because you didn't know how to confidently answer routine questions. So today we're going behind the scenes. We're going to break down the 10 most common customs and immigration questions you'll face at the airport and the smart, confident way to answer them. Not scripted answers, not robotic lines. Real-world travel guidance from someone who's been through hundreds of border checkpoints and seen how fast your trip can go wrong if you don't know how this system works. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what officers are listening for, what they look for, and how to move through the border like a traveler who understands the system, not one who fears it. Let's begin. Question number 1. What is the purpose of your trip? This seems simple, but it's also the biggest filter question. Immigration isn't asking for your travel philosophy. They want one clear category: tourism, business, study, transit, visiting family, medical, diplomatic. Anything outside that list triggers more questions. What they don't want is a life story. They don't want to hear, well, I'm seeing a friend, but I might explore job opportunities, and I'm thinking of checking out a co-working space. That answer can pull you straight into secondary screening. Keep it simple, clear, confident. I'm here for tourism, or I'm here for a business conference. If they want more detail, they'll ask. And here's something most travelers don't know. When you sound uncertain, the officer assumes you're hiding something. Not because they think you're dangerous, but because hesitation often equals intent to work illegally, overstay, or misrepresent your trip. So the golden rule here? Keep your tone relaxed, answer calmly, and don't feel like you need to justify your presence. You already have permission to be there by arriving with a valid passport and entry rights. And if that surprised you, wait until you hear the next one, because this is where most people accidentally trigger suspicion without realizing it. Question number 2, where are you staying? They're not trying to invade your privacy. They're confirming you have planned accommodations, a key indicator you're a genuine traveler. What they want? A hotel name, an Airbnb address, a family member's home. What they don't want? Oh, I haven't booked yet. I'm staying with a friend, I think. Just exploring, nothing planned. Those answers wave a red flag. No plan equals risk of overstaying or working illegally. Even if you're backpacking and booking along the way, you still need a first night plan. Say your first hotel or hostel, that's it. And here's a little insider guidance. Always have your address written down or accessible on your phone. Far too many travelers freeze trying to remember their hotel name after a 12-hour flight. Immigration doesn't care if you booked a luxury suite or a budget capsule bed. They care that you planned like a real traveler. Next up, the one question that makes even seasoned travelers nervous, but shouldn't. Question number 3, how long will you be staying? This isn't a trap. They're not hoping you guess wrong. They want to hear that you know your itinerary and you plan to return home. Clear timeframes equal legitimate travel. I'm staying 10 days. Or, I depart on March 12th. What you don't want to say, I'm not sure yet. Maybe a few months, maybe longer. I might extend if I like it. Those phrases don't sound adventurous. They sound uncertain about returning. And overstaying visas is one of the biggest immigration concerns worldwide. If your plans are flexible, keep it simple. I have a return ticket for the 12th, but I may take a flight a day earlier if needed. That tells the officer you have a return plan. You understand your stay limit. You're not playing immigration roulette. And here's the quiet truth most travelers never hear. Officers aren't just checking your answers. They're checking your confidence, your clarity, and whether your story makes sense. But if you think clarity is enough, wait until we talk about money, because this next one catches unprepared travelers constantly. Question number 4, what do you do for work? You don't need to impress anyone here. You don't need to justify your career or prove you're successful. Immigration doesn't care if you're a CEO or between jobs. They care that your story is consistent with your travel plans. If you're employed, answer clearly. I'm a teacher. I work in IT. I'm a nurse. I'm in finance. If you're self-employed, I run an online business. I work as a freelance designer. If you're retired, I'm retired. Simple, confident, direct. Never over-explain. Never sound defensive. And don't say anything that implies you're seeking work in the country unless you're on a visa that allows it. Which leads us to the next one. The one question absolutely nobody wants to be asked, but everyone needs to be ready for. Question number 5. Are you carrying any food, cash, or restricted items? This is where many travelers think they can just slip through. Bad idea. Border agencies around the world take food, agriculture products, currency, and medicine rules seriously, and penalties can be brutal: fines, confiscation, secondary interrogation, even denied entry in extreme cases. If you have food, declare it, even if it's snacks. Even if you think everyone brings this, same with cash. Declare if above the legal threshold. You don't get taxed. They just want records for anti-laundering laws. And medicine? Carry prescriptions and always declare anything controlled, strong, or unusual. The rule here isn't about punishment. It's about transparency. Customs officers trust confident, honest travelers. Even if you declare something permitted, you're safer than the traveler who tries to hide it. And speaking of trust, here comes the question that quietly determines how smoothly your entry goes next. Question number 6. Do you have a return ticket? Some countries won't even let you board the plane without proof of return or onward travel. Others check upon arrival. But here's what most people don't realize. Return ticket doesn't always mean flying home. It means you have a confirmed plan to leave the country before your stay ends. One-way ticket travelers make officers nervous. Not because it's illegal, but because it signals potential overstay. So if you travel open-ended, use this approach. I have onward travel booked after this stay. And yes, when many long-term travelers use refundable tickets or flight reservation services for backup proof. Perfectly legal, as long as you're prepared. Because at the border, confidence beats confusion every time. Now, the next question is often phrased casually, but it's one of the most important ones. Question number 7. Who are you traveling with? If you're solo, just say so. Confidence in solo travel signals independence and planning, not suspicion. If you're traveling with family or friends, keep it simple. My spouse and 2 kids. My friend, we're visiting together. What you don't want to say, I'm meeting someone I've only spoken with online. We haven't met in person yet, but we're planning to stay together. It's complicated. Border agents don't like complicated. Complicated suggests risk. Complicated makes their instincts activate. If you're meeting someone abroad, perfectly fine. Just frame it cleanly. I'm traveling solo but meeting a friend who lives here. That's honest, clear, and tension-free. And before we continue, I want to pause here for just a second. Because if you're still watching, it means you're not just traveling. You're mastering travel. You're becoming the kind of passenger who never feels intimidated at a border crossing again. So if you love uncovering real travel knowledge like this, the kind airlines don't advertise and airports don't explain, make sure you're subscribed to Boardifly. This channel is built for travelers who don't just want to get there. They want to travel smarter, smoother, and more confidently every single time. All right, let's keep going. Because this next question, it turns even calm travelers nervous. Question number 8. Do you know anyone here? This question tests your ties, not your personal life. Officers want to know whether you're here with local support or arriving without a plan. If you're visiting someone, say so. Yes, I'm visiting my aunt. Yes, a friend lives here. We're meeting for sightseeing. If you're not, that's also fine. No, I'm here for tourism on my own. What you don't want to do is suddenly over-explain. Well, I do know someone, but not really. We mostly talk online, and I might see them if... That sounds unsure. And unsure is the enemy here. Straightforward answers build trust, and trust moves you through the border fast. Now, let's talk money, because here's a question that seems innocent but reveals everything. Question number 9. How much money are you traveling with? This isn't about judging your finances. It's about confirming you can support your stay. They're not asking if you're wealthy. They're asking if you can afford your trip without working illegally or depending on the government. You don't need a speech. You don't need to announce your life savings. Just a simple response. I have a credit card and access to funds, or I have $800 cash and cards. If asked, you should be able to show proof. That's not suspicion. It's standard immigration procedure worldwide. There's a quiet power in answering calmly, as if this whole process is routine, because to frequent travelers, it is. But the final question, the one most people aren't prepared for, is the one that determines whether you head to baggage claim or step into an interview room. Question number 10. Do you have anything to declare? Every country has a declaration card or digital form. You check boxes, you sign, you submit, and then an officer may still ask. Your answer should match your form, always. Even a small mismatch looks suspicious. And remember, declaring isn't admitting wrongdoing. Declaration is honesty, and honesty moves you through the line. There's a hidden truth here. International borders don't operate on punishment. They operate on compliance. A traveler who calmly declares snacks passes faster than the one sweating over a forgotten apple in their backpack. Now here's where most travelers stop. They think they just need answers. They think confidence comes from memorization. But confidence comes from understanding the why behind every question. So let's pull back the curtain. Why border officers ask these questions? They're not judging your life. They're not hoping you mess up. They're not suspicious of every traveler. They're looking for 5 things. You know why you're here. You plan to leave when you're supposed to. You have the means to support yourself. You're not breaking import-export rules. Your story makes sense. That's it. Immigration isn't about intimidation. It's about clarity. And here's the truth most travelers never hear. A secure, calm traveler is a welcome traveler. A nervous traveler becomes a question mark, even if they've done nothing wrong. Your tone matters. Your body language matters. Your simplicity matters. And that brings us to the final mindset shift, the one that turns every border crossing from tension into ease. The traveler mindset that wins every time. You are not begging to enter. You're not hoping to be allowed in. You're simply confirming you follow the rules, and then you're on your way. Immigration isn't the villain. It's the gate, and gates open easily for travelers who approach them with clarity. Remember this phrase. Travel confidence doesn't come from knowing every rule. It comes from being prepared, calm, and respectful. You don't need to sound perfect. You don't need to impress anyone. You just need to demonstrate that you're exactly what you are. A traveler who knows where they're going, why they're going, and when they're leaving. Before we wrap up, 3 final travel truths to take with you. If you don't know, say so confidently, not nervously. If you're asked to clarify, do it simply, not defensively. If you're selected for secondary, stay calm. It's not punishment, it's procedure. Millions of travelers pass with ease every day, and now you're equipped to be one of them. Your turn. Have you ever had an interesting experience with immigration or customs? A question you didn't expect? A moment where preparation paid off, or panic almost got you flagged? Tell me in the comments. I read every story, and your experience might help someone travel smoother. And if today's video gave you that feeling, the feeling of, oh, I get this now, then make sure you're subscribed, because this channel is here to make you unstoppable as a traveler. More confidence, more control, more hidden travel knowledge the world forgets to teach you. Until next time, fly smarter.